Thank you for joining us here at Ask a Historian. I'm Matthew Wilkinson, historian with Heritage Mississauga. And each week we invite you to send in your questions and we explore the fascinating stories of the city of Mississauga together. Like, subscribe, and follow us and stay up to date on all the heritage happenings with Heritage Mississauga. Joining us this week for Ask a Historian is Luz Del Rosario. I apologize, Luz Del Rosario. Luz is a longtime board member with Heritage Mississauga, we think since 2012 or 2013. She's also the chair of the Credits Awards Committee that puts on the Credits Gala each and every year with Heritage Mississauga, one of our premier programs at Heritage Mississauga. We are in the midst of gathering nominations for this year's event, and we thought Luz would bring you on and we'll talk about this program. It is exciting. It has been exciting. We are looking forward to once again in person in 2022. The date of the awards is November 3rd, which seems like a long way away, but it really isn't because we are gathering the nominations now. So Luz, thank you for joining us and spending some time.
I'm so happy to be with you here, Matthew, and I'm so happy to talk about the credits. Credits is the highlight of my year.
Which is good because I know you put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it. So the fact that it's a highlight is a good thing.
It is. Yeah.
Can you tell us, I know what it's about, you know what it's about, but can you tell us what the Credits is about and what the kind of the genesis of the program is?
Okay. It's a long story, but I hope you have patience.
Absolutely.
Well, the Credits actually was born, or we thought about it while attending the Heritage Mississauga Awards that's been going on for years. And this was around 2012, I believe. And it's a beautiful recognition of community volunteers that have been working hard in the city of Mississauga, around Mississauga, that basically recognizes the structure, the architecture, and the longtime residents of Mississauga. So while sitting there with my fellow director, Jake Deere, we were kind of planning and thinking, how can we highlight or put the awards, the Heritage Mississauga Awards, into a better kind of position that people would love to come, that people would really enjoy coming, as well as be a fundraising for Heritage Mississauga. So that's how the Credits started. So Jake and I presented it to the board, and we thought, would you like to try us to do this? And we'll work hard on it. And we formed the subcommittee that basically planned and thought about it with Jamie, our executive director, and Winnie Fong, our also director at the time. And then we pulled out people from the community, and like Imran Khan and Maria de Silva. So we arrived with, how do we call this? Do we want to call it Heritage Mississauga or the awards, or let's look at something else? And what do we want to do? What we plan to do is to give credit where credit is due. So that's how the Credits Awards arrived. And it basically, the first awards that we did was in 2013. Yep. I think that's the right timing on that one. So that's when we created all of this. We created a few categories at the time, and then we expanded it as we go along. And we call it the Credits. It's really giving credits to whoever it's due, to our heritage heroes, we call it. And just to give a perspective, heritage heroes means, for me, is someone they know who have volunteered earnestly and tirelessly in many charitable and community organizations in and around Mississauga, right? So, and we recognize also business leaders who have flourished their businesses, provided jobs, and also support the growth of Mississauga. So from there, we would gather the nomination, and then we would have a judging panel that would select the best person or the best company for that category. But because we received so many deserving nominations, this is where it became so difficult. We received so many deserving nominations, so many good people, I tell you, in Mississauga. So we have decided as a committee that in 2019 to change it by choosing to recognize everyone that was nominated. So nominations are still reviewed. It's still reviewed, even though we don't have a panel, but nominations are still reviewed for validity and making sure that it's really a valuable nomination. And depending on the category, there may still be just one or two nominations accepted. But there may be areas that we may have a lot, because a perfect example is the Volunteers Award and the Community Heritage Cultural something Community Awards that we have, because we do have a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that the credits has done too is to bring the different cultures in Mississauga. It kind of made it inclusive.
Yeah.
It's not only the structure, it's not only the oldest people, but we look at the different communities. So we kind of say the tangible and intangible of our culture, right?
Yeah.
So now you see in our awards, we look at the heritage, you look at the cultural. I might probably jumping into all your questions here.
That's okay.
So stop me when I have to. So it's just very exciting for me to talk about the credits. And I am just looking forward, because after 2 years, because of the pandemic, we were not able to bring the people together. Although we did a virtual kind of thing in 2020, then we had a virtual awards. We choose only a few awards in 2021.
Yeah.
So now in 2022, we hope to really go back in full force and have everybody on stage and enjoy everybody's company.
I look forward to it. It's one of those things. The pandemic, I think, throws us all for a little bit of a loop in terms of what we're comfortable with and what we're not, and all that sort of stuff. But that idea of gathering again, I think there'll be a renewed celebration in a way. At least I hope so. And
I hope so.
One of the things that I find most remarkable, and I had been, again, you already referenced it. Heritage Mississauga had done awards for over 25 years.
Yeah.
But starting in 2013, it was kind of the rebranded awards as the credits, which became the gala that it is today, and that we've enjoyed. But I think what strikes me the most is the most powerful, I guess, if that's the right word for this, is that prior to the credits, Heritage Mississauga staff and volunteers and board members, we're the ones who came up with the nominations. With the inception of the credits, it's the community that is bringing forward the nominations, and I think that is such a fascinating way to connect to the community, but to have the community voice expressed. The people that we've met through this program, the people that we continue to meet, it's just so remarkable. It's a wonderful concept.
It is. Everyone feels they belong.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's making it inclusive for everybody.
So I'm not good with math. That's why I do the job that I do. Since 2013, we've had a certain number of credits awards, and I know, at least I think you've been at all of them.
I think so.
I think so. What are some, like, if you can just walk us through, this is more in line, let's anticipate this year, but what are some of your personal highlights of the past credits, things that you that stick out to you, that you remember about some of the other ones that you've done?
Well, we have former mayor of Mississauga, Hazel McCallion, in one of our Lifetime Achievement Award. So that is a very good recognition of somebody who really put her body and soul and her whole life basically to the community. So we did recognize her. I can't remember now. I think before she stepped down as mayor, but we did recognize her on that one. We also the most recent one, I know I remember a lot of things, but I also, it's kind of all jumbled in my head
Oh, I
now.
know. Yeah, yeah.
I thought, oh, I remember this. But I also remember there was a group of students that was nominated as a, oh, what were they nominated? So they were like a group of students from
I
Malton,
was gonna say the Malton students. There's a community
yeah,
project in Malton. Yeah.
from Malton that have put themselves together, and they have a nice performance, and they even perform for us
Yeah.
that evening. So it's one of those things. So we don't just recognize um, the older people; we recognize the youth in this event. The credits basically take a look at who are the accomplished people, who are the upcoming people that's coming in there. So we recognize. So the most recent one in 2019, this was really a sold out, and I still had people knocking on our doors to get in on that event in 2019 when we had Senator O as our lifetime achievement recipient, and
Yep.
I was like blown away. I had I had people calling in up to the last minute. I tell you, Mississauga Grand ran out of cutleries and tablecloths and
I
everything. That's
remember.
why we have to refuse them. I'm so sorry. I really cannot put you anywhere. I don't have plates to give you and don't have chairs to give you. So um, but and we also had very good sponsorship coming in. We always, the credits also look to sponsors that support our event. So the sponsors actually sponsors awards and all that. So we had in 2019 very good response to our request to sponsor the different awards
Yeah.
that we have. And I tell you, 2019 was the biggest crowd. But before that, in 2018, I think we also had I tell you, it's always about 300 people.
Yeah.
We have not been, touch on wood, less than 300 people. In 2018, we had um, uh, Gilmore
Gilmore.
from
Yep.
Trial.
Yep.
Yeah. So he was another one of our recipient, and I couldn't remember what we gave him, but I tell you, he really made an effort to make it there.
Yep.
He was supposed to be an event in an event that he and his group were reuniting and perform. But he says, Luz, I'll try to make sure that I'm there. And you know what? It's a great big party
Yep.
that evening.
Yep. I remember it was, and we started playing some Triumph music in the background too.
Yes, yes, we did. So it's an amazing one. So the other one that I remembered was when we had for our entertainment, I think it was the World War II event, where we had the ladies
Yeah.
perform a from the 50s or something.
Yeah, yeah, the musical number with Heather Christine and her group.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah. So it's a wonderful way of celebrating the heroes that we have, the heritage heroes, recognizing them, the past, present, and future. I think that's what we do.
I love the mix of but I love the mix of the awards and the entertainment, because my favorite entertainment is still, remember the drummer that
Yes, the African
had
drummer.
everybody going or stamping their feet, like that was so much fun.
Yes.
But it really it's a neat celebration of heritage, because it really does it encompasses the modern and vibrant heritage that is all around us today, the community stories, the community volunteerism, but it turns into a party. You're right.
Yeah. While recognizing all these people, celebrating their achievements and all, we also enjoy the evening.
Absolutely.
And they win. They win prizes too.
Yes, they do. The silent auction, and again, hat tip to the sponsors. We couldn't do this without our sponsors. So, kudos to all of those that step up and support a program like this as well, and continue to do so. And we look forward to working with them, whoever they are, in the years ahead. How can people be nominated?
I think the nominations, invitations for nominations out now. Heritage Mississauga sends out invitations for nominations through their website,
Yeah.
as well as other social media that we use, and by word of mouth. So anybody that sometimes we talk to, we encourage them. You know, sometimes when I go to an event, uh, I talk about the credits, and I say, you know, and you see people who are working hard. So I kind of say to the people, you know, have you thought of nominating this person for the credits? And it's one way of knowing. And the other way that we have done is Heritage Mississauga has been involved with Carasaga Festival as the host of Canada Pavilion.
Yep.
So there again, we talk to the different countries that participated in Carasaga and make them be part of this whole celebration. And it's the whole dynamics, it's the fabric of Mississauga that comes out in the credits.
Absolutely, and I just think it's such a neat dynamic to see. You get I mean, we do get people who come year after year, but you also it's that mix of new people that come out each time. It really make it a vibrant thing.
Yeah.
So without going into a lot of detail about the individual categories, because they are listed on the website, but can you just run down the different categories that we look to honor each year, or we look to honor this year in terms of the credits?
So just a quick one, we do have the Lifetime Achievement Award. We do have the Business Leader Award. Community Heritage Award is another one that's big for our community. And the Cultural Heritage Award. So again, we look at the different cultures in our community. And we have the Heritage Youth Award, the youths who actually work in promoting their own heritage with working with the community, working with as a Canadian. And then we also have the Modern Heritage Award, the Natural Heritage Award, and the other thing we do is a Heritage Champion Award.
Right.
This is an award that we give to somebody in an elected position or that works in the city or a public service that has done so much for our community and Mississauga as a whole. We also recognize the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation Cultural Award. I think it's very important because we work with Heritage Mississauga has a board of directors that comes from Mississaugas of the Credit First Nations. And it's very important to recognize them, especially now. And most of the time, actually, we have the elder do our opening prayer or opening blessing when we do the credits. So it's again, instead of just recognizing the land acknowledgement where we are operating, but we have the elder do the blessing. So it's a mixture of everything for me.
Yeah, and Kim Wheatley usually sends us home with a song at the end too.
Yes, she does. She gets everybody up and go with a song.
I know in the past, award winners were determined through a judging panel, and I know you referenced that has changed. So, how are winners selected? I know you touched on it, but if you can just highlight that a little bit so people understand that through the nomination process, that's how you begin the process, but there is a selection of how people receive their awards as well.
Yes, it's still by nomination. So. We still have a committee that will review all those nominations and look for the validity and all of that. But this time we may have more than one award for one category.
Right.
So let's say we may have business leaders awards that we know these two business leaders have been working so hard and really flourishing their business as well as helping the growth of Mississauga. So we may have one or two on that award.
Right.
So there's still a review. Nominations are sent to Heritage Mississauga website. There is application in the website where any nomination can be completed, and then the Heritage Mississauga staff will help us follow through and make sure that information are accurate, and we still check for validity on it, and they're still reviewed.
Yeah.
So there could be more than one awards for more than one or two recipients for each award.
Right.
So,
I think that again, it's based on merit, right? Like it's not a contest.
yes.
It's
Not a contest. It's
yeah,
a merit.
deserved winners. When do nominations close?
It closes. Oh, it's actually supposed to close the end of this month, but June has been so busy with so many events going on and schools closing. Well, schools ending and all
Yeah.
that. So the committee decided to extend it to August 31st.
Right.
But
So
I encourage anyone watching this interview or this discussion to please don't wait until August 31st,
yeah,
because you'll be
don't
enjoying
wait.
summer.
Don't wait.
Don't wait. Just go into our Heritage Mississauga website, and the application is there for nomination, and just send it.
And we'll share all the links here so that
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes, but don't wait. August 31st they do close, but get it in sooner rather than later, and be part of the credits process as we build towards the event.
That's right.
When does it take place and where?
It will be on November 3rd, and it's still at Mississauga Grand Convention place, Banquet and Convention Hall.
Yep.
So again, that's why once it's out, or even now, you could order your tickets, and tickets may not be ready, but please order your tickets, and we may have great people, as you know, all the heritage heroes are coming out. Yep. So there'll be a good chunk of people that probably would be interested in coming. So I encourage you to think about that.
Well, if Carasaga is our first kind of in-person event is any indication, people are longing to come out. So don't hold off to get your tickets, because they may go fast.
It is true. Carasaga was like, oh my goodness, it was crowded at Paramount Fine Food Center. You know, it was crowded. So I encourage you to do that.
Do you know the ticket cost? I know there's an individual and a table cost, but do you have that information?
Yes, I do. Tickets are $75 for a single ticket, but if you're buying a table of 10, I believe, table of 10, it's for $650 for a table. So you get
that includes not only the gala itself, but dinner. There's silent auction. There's
and entertainment.
Yes.
And we have it hasn't been finalized, but we're hoping to have another silent auction, or no, it's an auction, right? We do an auction.
Oh, right.
For,
okay.
Yeah, for a accommodation in Torre Fiore. Sorry, Torre Fiore in Sicily. Not in Sicily, in the southern part of Italy, near Calabria, I believe. Okay. So it's a beautiful place. It's accommodation for 6 nights, 7 days, I believe. And there may be another one somewhere in Portugal that we're going to work on. So it's there. So some exciting.
That's the carrot, right? Stay tuned for more details.
Yes. Stay tuned for more details. And if there's any sponsors watching, or if you know of anybody that could sponsor us, please let them know. Contact Jamie Gaspar at Heritage Mississauga, or you could send us a note at Heritage Mississauga. We're looking for more sponsors that could really help us make this event another successful event that recognize our heroes as well as our community, or just have a big party.
I do. There's something special about anticipation for this year, I think, and I think a large portion of that is simply, what we've been through collectively in the last couple of years, and so I think there is a new, for me at least, maybe I'm extrapolating too much, but for me at least, I think there's a new appreciation for that word hero and community hero and different ways in which we have looked at and embraced our community stories, our community heritage, and we've all gone through something that is, you know, incredibly transformative. And I think we have an opportunity here to come out and let's have another party.
An opportunity to be together. I think
Yes.
this is the one thing that I think we were missing. We've been cooped up in our homes, or you know, doing our work from home and doing everything at home. So now it's time to really come out. I think it's an opportunity. It's a great opportunity.
So on that, Luz, thank you for spending some time with us. And honestly, I can feel your enthusiasm for it, and I thank you for your leadership of this. And I look forward not only to the event itself, but just that excitement as it builds towards the event. And you know, anyone listening to this, anyone out there in the community, if you know anyone who might know someone, get the word out there, get the nominations in, be part of the credits. And as you said, let's give credit where credit is due, and celebrate the Heritage Awards once again as we return in person November 3rd at the Grand the Mississauga Grand Banquet and Convention Center. And but we'll share all the information, website, all the details for the criteria for the categories. But get those nominations in and be part of the credits for 2022 as we return to our in-person gala with excitement. So, Luz, thank you. Anything you want to say? One last thing before we sign off.
One last thing is I look forward to all the nominations that's coming. Please do let it come. Don't wait for August 31st and send it in. Go to Heritage Mississauga website and you'll find the application. Also for sponsors, any sponsors that want to sponsor our event, it's by award or just the event. Please do check us out, our sponsor packages.
Wonderful. Yes, and we'll share all the links after the program here. Luz, thank you so much. And for everyone watching, thank you for joining us with Ask a Historian. Like, subscribe, and follow us and stay up to date on all the heritage happenings with Heritage Mississauga. And we will see you at the Credits 2022. But of course, we'll see you next week with another episode of Ask a Historian. Thank you, Luz.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, everyone. Bye.